What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, as you can see here, undefeated, unified, 3-belt, WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not number one, definitely top five, pound for pound, best fighters in the world, in Errol, the Truth, Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is undefeated with 28 wins, no loss, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. He has a stern message for his upcoming opponent, July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, and that's in the form of undefeated 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound for pound fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is 39 wins, no loss and no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout, 35 years of age, 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. With that said, this is the biggest fight in the last 40 years, the most anticipated fight definitely in the last 10 years. This is an undefeated, undisputed welterweight showdown that has legacy written all over it. It has history written all over it, as whoever wins, whoever is victorious, will become the first undisputed 4 major sanction belt welterweight world champion in the history of the sport of boxing. If Terence Crawford was to be victorious, this would make Terence Crawford the first male to become undisputed in 2 separate weight classes in the 4-belt era. Okay, if Errol Spence wins, obviously he becomes undisputed for the first time in his career and the first welterweight to do so. And the winner of this fight would no doubt be number one pound for pound best fighter in the world. So with that said, Errol Spence Jr. is in Las Vegas. He has his fighter coming up fighting this Saturday, that being lightweight star title contender Frank the Ghost Martin, will be fighting this Saturday in Las Vegas, Nevada. Errol Spence, that's his first fighter in Man Down Promotions, so he will be attending. But he has now moved and set up camp in Las Vegas as well. Okay, and Errol Spence is out on the track. He's out training, and he had this message for Terence Crawford. He said, quote, "I'm going to smoke Terence Crawford, and then I'm moving up to 154 because I got some business to handle with some folks at 154. Now, his close friend, stablemate, and training partner in 3-time junior middleweight, now undisputed junior middleweight world champion superstar boxer, who should be, and in my book is widely considered to be top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world, in Jamel Ironman Charlo, who is 35 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, who is 19 wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'11.5" with a 73.5-inch arm reach. Jamel Charlo is now moving up to super middleweight. He's going to face off against 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who currently is the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered by many to be the face of the sport of boxing, in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is 59 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. So that's going to take place September 30th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena. So Jamel Charlo is moving up 2 weight classes, so he won't be available. And more than likely, Jamel Charlo is not going to come back down to 154, especially if he's victorious. He's going to have an immediate rematch with Canelo Alvarez, as I'm sure there's a rematch clause. So he will have to have an immediate rematch with Canelo Alvarez. Then he will probably want to defend his titles. I'm hard-pressed to see Jamel Charlo come back down to 154, and he'll be a 2-division undisputed world champion, and he would be making a case for himself with a victory over Canelo Alvarez as no doubt the face of the sport of boxing and the pound for pound number 1 fighter in the world. So with that said, there's a lot riding on the line for Jamel Charlo in this fight with Canelo Alvarez. So Errol Spence, he stated he got some business to handle at 154, and Jamel Charlo more than likely is going to vacate them titles. And when he said that, that puts me in the mindset of there's a guy that Errol Spence lost to in the amateurs that Jamel Charlo drew with and then beat and knocked out for undisputed, and that's Argentinian star, junior middleweight, former world champion in Brian Castano. Brian Castano beat Errol Spence in the amateurs. Okay. And Brian Castano, is a very tough customer, a very tough fighter. He fought Jamel Charlo and fought him to a draw. There was people that actually thought that Brian Castano won that fight against Jamel Charlo. Okay. So with that said, Brian Castano could be fighting for a vacant belt. He's 17 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 12 wins by way of knockout. He is 5'7.5" with a 67.5-inch arm reach. The last time we saw him in the ring was May 14th of 2022 when he was knocked out brutally by Jamel Charlo in that fight, and Jamel Charlo became the undisputed champion. But prior to that, again, they fought to a draw. So with that said, Brian Castano, if Jamel Charlo vacates the belt, Brian Castano very well could fight Errol Spence for one of those vacant belts should Errol Spence beat Terence Crawford. Now, obviously, Errol Spence is going to have to beat Terence Crawford twice, right? Because, Brian Castano is now 34 years of age. But Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, they have a rematch clause, an immediate rematch clause. So if Terence Crawford was to lose, like Terence Crawford said, he would have to go to the drawing board, start all over, and go back at it. And they have 30 days from their fight. So they have until August 29th to activate the rematch clause for the next fight, which I would highly expect either guy who loses, whether we're talking about Terence Crawford in this situation, to activate the rematch clause, then go ahead and pursue a fight with another fight with Errol Spence, right? Both guys has a lot of pride. Both guys have huge chips on their shoulder. Both guys are very, very talented, and neither guy know how to lose. So with that said, I would expect that to be the case. So there will be time, that's going to elapse, but I expect the rematch to be at 154. So that will put them in the division already, right? That would put Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, both in the division of 154 and get acclimated to the division. Then I could see the winner of that fight fighting for those vacant titles. Now, the WBO that has a mandatory challenger already, an Australian star boxer, and that's Tim Tszyu. Okay, Tim Tszyu was already slated to fight against Jamel Charlo. He was already in position to fight Jamel Charlo, and Jamel Charlo got the opportunity, to fight against Canelo Alvarez, and obviously, he was going to go in that direction. So Tim Tszyu is the WBO mandatory challenger for the WBO World Boxing Organization title, and Tim Tszyu is vying for his position. So when Jamel Charlo vacates that title, then I can very well see Tim Tszyu fighting for that vacant title, and it could possibly be, Errol Spence or Terence Crawford at that point in time. So we have to see how it unfolds. But the WBO, they stated that they're not going to strip Jamel Charlo because he's daring to be great. They're going to wait and allow him to make a decision after the Canelo Alvarez fight. So we got to see how this plays out. But you can see right now, there was a lot of people complaining about Errol Spence looking flat. He looked, bloated. He looked like he had water on him. And now you see Errol Spence is looking chiseled. He's looking big. He's looking like he's explosive. He looked like he's in the best shape of his life. And he said that he is going to smash Terence Crawford. I'm going to smoke Terence Crawford, right? Obviously, Errol Spence is confident in himself. So you see, he says, got to go to 154 after I smoke Terence Crawford. It's a lot more dudes up there that got to get rolled up and put in the dirt, right? That's his slogan, put him in the dirt. So with that said, Errol Spence looking like he's in the best shape of his career and his life. Terence Crawford looked like he's in the best shape and career in his life. So this is a can't miss, in my opinion, action-packed legacy showdown. It's going to be historic. It's going to be iconic. And I think it's going to 1000% live up to the billing. Neither guy has any type of back down in them. I think that, both guys are going to be strategic, but it's going to be action-packed. And so I can't wait to see how this unfolds. Nobody can truly definitively say who they feel is going to win the fight. Now you're going to have fans of Errol Spence, fans of Terence Crawford. They're going to feel like Terence Crawford going to win or Errol Spence going to win. But at the end of the day, nobody's 100% confident in their pick as who they think is going to win this fight. And that's what makes this fight so legendary, so iconic. So as you see Errol Spence with his son in the best shape of his life saying, I'm going to smoke Terence Crawford, and then some dudes got to get it at 154. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all in one word. I'm gone. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real deal Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.